Today is Women Equality Day, Nesquik. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It is the 100th anniversary, in fact, of the passage of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, granting the right to vote to women. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's why I'm so glad to be part of the Brad Squad.
You sound like that. You can get that deep voice, Vanessa. I didn't realize you sound like you know that song, Oh Yeah. You know? You're like, oh yeah. You know that song I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know how it goes. I can't sing it. It's just the guy just goes, oh yeah, in the middle of it. This was the culmination, by the way, of a massive, peaceful civil rights movement by women that had its formal beginnings in 1848, but it took until 1920. August 26, 1920, it took almost 60 years from the start of the protest to get the women's right to vote. Vanessa?
I'm all about women empowerment. March, I'm usually pretty active since it is National Women's Month, but I wasn't familiar that it's Women's Equality Day.
Yes.
Something that's so important, and even still, I feel like as a woman, there's certain people that can't see, the strength of women or what we're capable of as equal to men. So I'm glad that we have a day.
My opinion is women are far superior than men. That's my opinion.
Absolutely.
All right.
You said it, not me.
I will say it every day. Okay. The woman, the traditional role of the woman in the household to me is they're the director, they're the boss, they're the ones in charge, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Brad,
right?
We need to get a bunch of thumbs up for that.
Now.
YouTube.
Thumbs up for the women.
That's right. Now, in observance of Women's Equality Day, it not only commemorates, by the way, the passage of the 19th Amendment, but also calls attention to women's continuing efforts towards full equality. We have a short video with some messages from people we spoke to regarding women's rights. Let's watch.
My message is for everyone to join together, all women of all ages and all sizes and all shapes, to support and love one another.
My message is to celebrate empowerment of women.
My message is that women should stay independent, go out there, do things for themselves. And if you want to achieve something in life, you will definitely achieve it just if you just stick your nose out and go for it.
My message is for all women to keep moving forward.
My message is equality for women all over the world.
I hope for every woman is just reach the potential and every man help her. I just hope that every man in every part of this world understand that the woman are just the same. We are equal in every aspect, physical, mental, emotional, and we can reach the same goal.
Love that.
Now, yesterday was also the second day of the Republican National Convention. It kicked off with Trump issuing a surprise pardon. Every week, we don't know who he's going to be pardoning. One week, it's his campaign advisor. Another week, it's his former foreign security officials. Now, it is a convicted bank robber, John Ponder, who later founded the nonprofit group Hope for Prisoners. It's like Donald Trump is kind of like a bank robber. He's using the White House for his own personal gain, in my opinion.
I agree.
Do you think he's also? Do you think he's also pandering to the black vote? He's like, I'm going to make a lot of racial division in America. I'm going to encourage white supremacy. I'm going to make an equivalency between white supremacists and protesters who are protesting white supremacy. He's yet to come out about the white supremacist shooter in Wisconsin earlier,
right,
which we'll be talking about. Yet he pardons this gentleman, and his name is John Ponder, and I wonder if it's to pander. It's quite ironic that the guy's name is John Ponder, but I wonder if it is to pander to the black community.
Of course. That's the only reason why he even has anybody black speak at his conventions.
Right.
Yep.
Now, meanwhile, First Lady Melania Trump spoke at the Rose Garden, which she just renovated. Jackie Kennedy first oversaw the garden's construction in the 1960s. She gave condolences to the victims of COVID. and she spoke in front of an audience that was not, however, socially distanced. Most were not wearing masks. Most were not tested for COVID. And she spoke about the joys of U.S. citizenship, which she obtained after immigrating to the United States from Slovenia, which is part of the former Yugoslav Republic. You know, she was able, you know, as a famous model, to get a work visa. She didn't really have an education. She did it because she was a famous model, a beautiful face, and then met a billionaire who married her and filed an adjustment for her. You know, so she really, really suffered through the immigration process. You know, she also claimed that Donald Trump was the first to speak about religious freedoms at the United Nations. False. Barack Obama did it too, as have presidents before him. And despite that, Trump, with the religious, you know, with the religious freedoms that they're all touting about Donald Trump, he's the one who put on the Muslim ban. Now, Larry Kudlow, President Trump's top economic advisor, declared the economy rescued and the coronavirus is in the past. Serious?
In the past.
In the past. It's like they're in a different universe.
In a time zone. It's like a Twilight Zone.
And by the way, there was more than 1,100 deaths from coronavirus just yesterday in the United States of America. Okay, and the unemployment rate is higher in the United States since any time since the Great Depression, over 100 years ago. With that being said, not to ponder or pander more or discuss Donald Trump, not to ponder Donald Trump or discuss his pandering more, but I do have to say this, Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
What's up?
Did you see, after everything that Donald Trump has done against immigrants in America, okay, try to defund USCIS, build a wall, call Mexicans and other people from Latin American countries rapists and murderers, people who come from Africa and Haiti and the Dominican Republic and many of the Caribbean countries, they're all from shitholes. We don't want them. To stop refugees from coming, separating children from their families, instituting harsh public poverty guideline rules. I can go on and on and on, and that's just off the top of my head. And you know what he does yesterday? He decides that in the middle of the Republican National Convention, he is going to invite 5 immigrants to the White House and preside over a naturalization ceremony of these 5 nameless immigrants who stood beside him as political props. Now, Trump, as I said, he's blocked asylum-seekers, the miles of the border wall. Now, if that is not the height of hypocrisy, if that is, I don't even know what the word is. It is so beyond disgusting for Donald Trump to say that he is in favor of immigrants in America. What a liar. What a bold face, pumpkin, orange, disgusting liar.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say. And shame on anybody who believes the crap he says. Shame on them.
Honestly, that's the thing. Like, that's why he says these things. Because, like you said before, who's going to stop him? Nobody's saying it. Like, we just say, it's a lie. Like, he really doesn't care. He knows he's lying. It's a joke.
And nobody says anything about it.
Nobody says anything. Nobody, like, calls his bluff, like, takes him to court, do whatever they have to do.
How about this? You're not allowed as a public official to use government property for political campaigning.
There you go.
What is he doing? Melania is making her speech from the Rose Garden. He's in the White House. He's in the White House doing naturalization ceremonies in the middle of the Republican National Convention.
Man.
And Jilly says to me, how does he get away with that? And I'm going to answer Jilly exactly what Yo-Yo says. Because nobody stops him.
Nobody says that.
Okay. How does Trump get away? How does Trump get away with changing immigration laws? He's not allowed to say no more green cards. Only Congress is allowed to do that. He's not allowed to say, I'm going to stop people from these countries from coming to America. He did it. Nobody sued him.
Nobody sued him. Like, So he's going to keep on doing it.
Right. So every time he writes an executive order, and he is the king of executive orders, he's inviting people to sue him and get a judge to do an injunction. And he does executive order after executive order after executive order, and it becomes so overwhelming that you don't even know where to go first, second, and third. You're like, they come so fast at you. So in essence, it's basically, yo-yo, it's like the school, it's like the school bully. And I think I've said this before. The school bully in the lunchroom, and everyone says, who's going to stop this school bully? He's stealing everybody's pizza money on Fridays. He's dumping food. He's causing riots, food fights,
picking on people,
and nobody's doing anything until the lunch lady shows up. The lunch lady being the judge. There's no lunch ladies in America right now. Nobody's doing anything. He's the school bully in the lunchroom. I can't explain it any better than that. Who's going to stop the school bully until someone stops him? He just takes the power. Meanwhile, just in some immigration news, the Executive Office for Immigration Review has announced that the New York immigration courts remain closed for non-detained hearings now through September 11th. They just updated their rules. So as previously announced, certain immigration courts have resumed non-detained hearings, but they are not happening here in New York. Today is the first day talking about changing rules. Yo-yo. Here's a perfect example of the hypocrisy. Donald Trump last night, naturalizing people. We welcome immigrants to America. Today, a new rule goes into effect that if you came here as a refugee, you came here and applied for political asylum, you can't get a work permit for 1 year, which means you escaped violence, you escaped with your life, you come here with the clothes on your back, and America says, bring us your poor, your huddled masses. We will help you. We are a shining beacon of freedom and democracy. We are in favor of people's rights, people's right to live peacefully, people's right to have a religion and pray in that religion and follow that religion. We're in favor of capitalism. We're in favor of people hard work. Escape the horrors from your other country, except, you know what? It's now a horror when you come here. You get separated from your family. You get sent to jail. And if you do apply for asylum and you're lucky to get out, starve on the street or break the law and work illegally, which perpetuates the stereotype of immigrants coming here and working illegally and taking jobs away from Americans. And we want them to follow the law. And look at all these immigrants who don't. There is no law to follow if he doesn't give you a work permit to work. Are you supposed to starve on the street? What are you supposed to do if you're an immigrant and you escape with your life and you come to America and you apply for asylum and your asylum application is reviewed and it has some credibility and they release you from detention until you see a judge? What are you supposed to do? Where are you supposed to work? The best analogy is this, yo-yo. If you're walking in a building, okay, and you keep walking around a building, there's no door to get out of the building. There's no door.
Right.
What are you going to do? You got to either climb over a wall or you got to punch your way through. You got to break through.
Figure it out.
Okay? You got to break a wall. Got to break a law because there's no door to
Poverty
open.
levels rise.
It could be you're working under the table. You can be, working for cash.
Which is still illegal.
Exactly. You apply for asylum, you got to wait 1 year before you can apply for a work permit. And by the way, that doesn't mean when you apply for your work permit, you get it that same day. That means you put your application in after 1 year. On the third night, by the way, since the police shooting that left Jacob Blake paralyzed, demonstrators in Kenosha, Wisconsin again defied curfew and were confronted by officers in riot gear who fired tear gas into the crowd. This is on a day when Donald Trump is leading the Republican National Convention and saying America is better than we ever were. Give me another 4 years.
Wow.
An overnight shooting left 2 people dead, 1 person with non-life-threatening injuries. Kenosha County Sheriff David Beth told the New York Times authorities are investigating whether the shooting resulted from a conflict between demonstrators and a group of men. Today, however, Kyle Rittenhouse, a white teenager, was arrested in Antioch, Illinois. Court records indicate he was booked for first-degree homicide. What the news reports are alleging right now, that this could possibly be a white supremacy shooting.
How is he alive? How did he walk past the cops with a whole rifle?
Yesterday, when the people were shot, demonstrators pointed him out as the shooter, and the cops told the demonstrators, move away. Move away. Tonight, there was supposed to be NBA games in the bubble. The NBA is not playing in protest to what is going on.
Yeah. I saw Milwaukee Bucks. They did not come out, and that's them protesting. And I love it.
Yeah.
Now, you're finally seeing them put their money where their mouth is. So I'm here for it.
So they refused to take the floor against the Orlando Magic, the Milwaukee Bucks. That's the closest city. They represent Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is the closest city to where the shooting was. And they refusing to take the floor in their playoff game. This is the playoffs against the Orlando Magic in protest over the killing of Jacob Blake. As a result of that, all NBA games have been canceled. There are 24 million coronavirus cases worldwide. There are 821,000 people have died. In the United States, 5.8 million people have been diagnosed with coronavirus. We are coming close to, as of yesterday, 180,000 deaths. Donald Trump is saying we're past it. Larry Kudlow is saying we're past it. Do you know what this is here? You know what I got there?
What?
I got my mask. I'm now doubling it.
Oh.
As my pocket square.
Oh.
All right, my new fashion statement. It's mask and pocket square.
You can't even tell.
What? You can't even tell,
that
right?
could actually be
Isn't
a
that
thing,
great?
Yo-Yo. Look into
Isn't that great? Look at that, right? New fashion statement.
A mask and
the mask pocket square. You like that? I'm starting it. All right, now if that starts taking off, Uncle Brad started it.
Trademark it.
Trademark it. Meanwhile, you know who tested positive for coronavirus? Usain Bolt.
Oh, yeah.
The Olympic great. Yeah, he tested positive for coronavirus, and it was revealed the sprinter broke the rules by holding a party for his 34th birthday. Now, Jamaica Prime Minister says there will be no special treatment if anyone has been found to break these rules. Usain does not have any symptoms. Two notable footballers, Manchester City's Raheem Sterling and Bayer Leverkusen's Leon Bailey, reportedly also attended Friday's bash. The Jamaican Gleaner quoted Craig Butler, who said it was Bailey's manager and adopted father, as saying, "How could Leon not attend and support his friend?" Now, Bolt had been given the test on Saturday, he said, and intended to quarantine. He urged those who had been around him to also isolate. So he has a party, and the next day tests positive for coronavirus.
I didn't mean to laugh at that. I was laughing at the fact that when the news had announced it, they put Kevin Hart's picture instead of Usain Bolt's.
Well, Kevin Hart and Usain Bolt, I think where the mistake was, obviously, Usain Bolt's just a little bigger.
A little bit.
Just a tiny,
it's like 5'4".
Just a tiny little bigger. But, Kevin Hart on his Instagram, I don't know, a while back, I remember seeing that he was doing, funny Instagram, videos with Usain Bolt. So maybe that's where it got confused. Because they were doing, Kevin Hart and Usain Bolt were doing a lot of videos together at one point. I remember seeing about a year or two ago. I don't know if that's the reason. Or just a stupid guy who put up the wrong picture. I don't know.
Just a dumb guy.
Just a dumb guy. Just a dumb guy. Now, I have in my hand the top hump day stories of the week. A new extreme dating site only matches users with a 20-year age gap. And photos are optional. Site creator David Mins builds this new matchmaking app, 20 Dating, as the world's first extreme age gap dating site. If you like grandpa dating, this is the place to go if you're a young person. Now, Mins told Metro UK, of course this is always in the UK, trying to connect with someone more than 20 years old or younger on a product like Tinder or Bumble is at best going to end up with a lot of rejection. He hopes 20 Dating will help diminish the stigma of older people and younger. That's extreme picture right there. There's no swiping on 20 Dating or barriers to communication. meaning the algorithm allows all users with the appropriate age group to instantly contact one another. What do you think, Vanessa? If you were not taken, would you want to go extreme dating older?
They should have called it like Rock the Cradle or something.
Rock Cradle.
But no, I don't think I would be interested in that age gap.
Hey, depends on the money.
The Deerfield Testicle Pageant in Adrian, Michigan has now been postponed for a second time. The Deerfield Testicle Festival, it's not a pageant, it's a festival, which would have been celebrating its 19th anniversary. 19 years they've had it, but it's now been postponed 2 years in a row. The pageant attracts more than 2,000 folks to the Deerfield group every year, and it's the Legion's greatest fundraiser for the whole year. So what do they do at this
They eat
pageant?
bull testicles.
They eat fried testicles, bull testicles. Funds are raised from the pageant and sales of beer, deep fried cattle testicles, and rooster gizzards and T-shirts. It is not human testicles. That is really, really gross. Now, women are.
Would y'all try it?
What?
Would you try bull testicles?
I would not.
Really?
I would not.
I thought you try everything.
No, you know what? There is not. I don't care where the testicle comes from, Yo-Yo. It's not going in Uncle Brad's mouth. Have you tried a bull testicle, Yo-Yo?
Hell no.
Hell no. All right. Meanwhile, women are posing topless on mountaintops for empowerment, and it is Women Empowerment Day. Now, Vanessa, perhaps you want to discuss this with some of your clients. You want to go viral. Women
Actually, that would be smart.
Yes, women are posing topless while hiking on mountaintops. It's now a new social media trend. The movement, which has been around since 2015, has surged in recent months. After reaching the mountaintop, female hikers will strip down, look out on the vista, and have a friend take their picture from behind. It's especially prevalent in Colorado, where going topless is legal. What do you think? Have you ever done that, Vanessa? Have you ever thought of that?
I hadn't thought of it, but I'm all for women empowerment. So if that's what we're doing and some good content, look at that.
I will be going upstate New York next weekend. I intend to go walk on top of a mountain and go topless.
And find powerful women too.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's all hang out.
All right.
Brad's all about the girl power.
Yes. All right. A brewery in Western Canada was forced to apologize after unwittingly naming a beer product after the Māori word for pubic hair. Now, Hell's Basement Brewery in Alberta, Canada, started marketing Huruhuru, a New Zealand craft ale, last year. The brewery picked the name because it understood the word meant feather or fur. But to Hemora Nakora, a Māori, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, living in New Zealand, I guess they are indigenous to New Zealand, living in New Zealand, and well-known former TV person, a Maui, okay, well-known former TV personality. And I believe the people who are indigenous in New Zealand, I could be wrong, but I believe they're Polynesian, said that the word Huruhuru also has an altogether different meaning for the Kiwi indigenous community. He wrote in a Facebook post, "Yes, I know Huru means feather, fur, and even hair of the head, but it's also most commonly referred to the pubic hair." Now, can you imagine talking about bad marketing? This beer company makes the beer, basically you're drinking pubic hair. That's what the marketing is. Cam girls are now working inside warehouse studio pods to adhere to coronavirus safety standards. Adult webcam company CamSoda has launched pop-up studios for cam girls so they can have a workplace where they don't have to worry about bothering housemates. They are working and stripping. I guess that's what they do on these campsites. They are working and stripping in these individual, I guess, plastic pods. A test run of this concept was recently opened in Medellin, Colombia, where lockdown orders are in place. CamSoda took advantage of the hard-hit real estate market, converted one of the city's many empty warehouses into studios. And that...
Brilliant.
Brilliant, CamSoda. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You know what we did is we just did by Skype. Why do they need to go to this pod? Why don't they just Skype from their bedroom?
Yeah.
Like Yo-Yo is doing. And Vanessa's doing, not the camming now.
Maybe they have roommates. It's a small space. They need it's like what are these offices you rent in the city?
It's like the WeWork. It's like
WeWork.
It's like WeWork for campsites. I guess they don't care. I mean, what you know?
Well, I mean,
everybody's looking at them. But I would be like, if I'm in this little pod, I would be looking over like, what is the person in the pod doing next to me? Oh my God! Look what she's doing! I'd be like,
it kind of makes sense. They provide the equipment, the lighting, the props, the background. So if they make it like that,
it's kind of like the translucent toilet. Where Yo-Yo said you wouldn't go in the glass toilet because people may look at you. It's the same thing. I mean, it's all these women are in these like open pods and they're looking at each other performing.
I don't think they're worried about each other. They're worried about getting that shmoney.
The shmoney.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're getting ready. They just want the shmoney.
They want the shmoney. They're not worried about who's doing what on the next pod.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.